For decades, the Strait of Hormuz has been the world's riskiest oil highway, a choke point where 20% of global crude squeezes through daily. But in the last 72 hours, everything shifted. Iran unleashed one of its biggest aerial barrages ever on Israel. Missiles pierced the legendary Iron Dome. Blasts rocked Israeli soil. And as the Middle East ignites, North Korea just fired a shot across Washington's bow. This isn't staying regional, it's going global. Israel and Iran's shadow war simmered for years: cyber hacks, spy ops, proxy hits. Accusations flew over sabotaged plants, assassinated scientists, and bombed depots. Direct clashes? Almost never. Until now. It exploded one fateful night. After Israeli strikes hammered Iranian assets in Syria, Tehran hit back hard. Waves of missiles and drones swarmed Israel's skies. Sirens wailed in Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, and beyond. Radar locked on, interceptors roared skyward. The horizon erupted in fireballs. Reports confirmed cluster bombs, shrapnel-spewing nightmares designed to shred wide areas and vital targets. Iron Dome, Israel's rocket-killing superstar, has bragging rights. Thousands neutralized over a decade. Radar spots threats, algorithms predict paths, Tamir missiles vaporize them mid-air. But this barrage tested its limits. Social media lit up with clips, dazzling intercepts like fireworks gone wrong. Yet gaps appeared. Some missiles slipped through, slamming earthward in plumes of fire and debris. Saturation overload, too many threats, too fast. Eyewitness videos showed the chaos, shockwaves rattling windows, fires blooming in the dark. Analysts pored over the patterns. Not random chaos. Strikes zeroed in on high-value spots, like facilities tied to Unit 8200, Israel's elite signals intel squad. They crack codes, run cyber ops, feed real-time battlefield intel. Hitting them? It's not showboating, it's crippling command nerves. The blast radius widened fast. Ex-Trump sounded the alarm, this could snowball into regional hell. Eyes locked on Hormuz, that 21-mile-wide artery pumping Gulf oil to the world. Disrupted, and gas prices spiked globally. U.S. pushes a naval shield, allies ships, planes, patrols to guard tankers. But the world's playing defense. France sends warships, defensive only, protecting shipments. UK nods to Iraq war scars, stays cautious. China. Diplomacy only, no troops. Japan. Logistics at best, bound by its pacifist constitution. Fragmented alliances mean solo risks for the US. Iran ups the ante, warnings to Gulf oil giants, shipping firms, US-linked ops. Your rigs and ports are next. A jab at Ukraine too, cut the drone flow to Israel, or else. Meanwhile, North Korea test fires missiles, mocking US drills. Ukraine-Russia, Korea tensions, all syncing up. One Hormuz blockade, and the dominoes fall, oil at $150 per barrel, supply chains choke, economies buckle. The shadow war's over. This is the real one, and it's pulling everyone in. France confirmed that it had deployed naval assets toward the Gulf region, but officials emphasized that their presence would remain defensive. French statements indicated that the mission would focus primarily on protecting commercial shipping and monitoring maritime activity rather than participating in offensive operations. The response from the United Kingdom reflected a similar sense of restraint. British officials publicly referenced the political lessons learned from the Iraq War, signaling reluctance to become deeply entangled in another Middle Eastern military campaign without clear international consensus. Other major powers took an even more distant position. China rejected the idea of joining a military coalition outright. Chinese officials instead emphasized the importance of regional stability and uninterrupted energy trade, focusing on diplomatic engagement rather than military deployment. Meanwhile, Japan signaled hesitation about participating in combat operations. Tokyo's position is influenced in part by constitutional restrictions that limit the overseas use of Japanese military forces. While Japan remains deeply dependent on Middle Eastern energy supplies, officials indicated that any involvement would likely focus on monitoring or logistical support rather than direct engagement. Taken together, these responses suggested a more fragmented international landscape. While the conflict between Israel and Iran was intensifying, the global reaction. As tensions continued to rise, the conflict began casting a wider shadow across multiple regions. Officials in Iran issued warnings not only to governments but also to international corporations operating in the Gulf. Energy companies, shipping firms, and industrial contractors with facilities in the region were cautioned that their infrastructure could become vulnerable if the confrontation escalated further. The warnings extended specifically to businesses connected with United States economic interests. Iranian commentators suggested that American companies supporting military logistics or energy operations in the Gulf might face increased risk as the conflict continued. The message was clear.